Have you ever been in a sales slump where it seems like whatever you do doesn't work and you might even begin to doubt yourself? Well, I'm going to show you how to use sports psychology to get yourself out of it and back to performing at a high level. Stay tuned. So you might be wondering, why is Art wearing a Kansas City Royals jersey? Well, I actually used to play for the Royals. Well, actually I went to a fantasy camp where we paid $3,000 to play for a week with some of the retired Royals. Yeah, I got my name on the back of the jersey. Okay, so think about the last time you got into one of those funks where nothing seemed to be falling your way. You have deals collapse, buyers not returning calls or emails, and suddenly you're struggling to put up any results at all. And then your confidence takes a hit. We question why we're not having success. Self-doubt creeps in, maybe even to the point of not going after key accounts or avoiding placing calls altogether. A Wall Street Journal article discussed how that happened to Dan DeCio, a high-tech equipment account executive. Now, he was expecting to have a big year, but his results were just not there. So he began grinding, working longer hours, nights and weekends, placing more calls, to no avail. He was grasping for a solution. What could he do to get out of this slump? Well, Dan is a big baseball fan, and he recalled how John Smoltz, a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves in 1991, worked with a sports psychologist to pull himself out of a slump. So Dan did the same thing with tremendous results. First, here's Smoltz's story. So the pitcher, who was one of the top stars in the game at the time, now he's a broadcaster, he started the season with a horrible record of just 2 wins and 11 losses. Said he lost his confidence. And as many people do in sales and in sports, he tried working harder to get out of the slump. And instead, he made it worse, rushing himself on the mound and overanalyzing every bad pitch. The psychologist worked with him to recover quickly from bad pitches instead of dwelling on them. The doctor made a video of perfect pitches that Smoltz had thrown and had him watch the video over and over. Then, if Smoltz threw a bad pitch in a game, he said, "I literally would not step back on the mound until I had pulled up that positive file in my mind." This reminded him of what it felt like to throw well, instilling confidence, resulting in more positive performance. Now, Dan's psychologist suggested that he do the same thing. Stop overworking, relax, recall past performances. What was the result? Well, his sales that year were double the previous years. Okay, so what can you do? What can we do? Well, you can do the same thing. You likely won't need a sports psychologist, though. Now, if you get in one of these ruts, here's what I suggest you do. Apply the same principles that they teach to show similar success. Tim Stoll, a 25-year commercial real estate broker, began losing his self-confidence during a downtime because of all the no's that he was getting. So he implemented a technique that golfer Jack Nicklaus used to get rid of anxiety. So he began visualizing himself performing well. Now, if he performs poorly during a presentation, instead of dwelling on it like he did in the past, he laughs it off and he refocuses on his goal of helping clients save money. Focusing on the positive helped him land more new clients. Here are other techniques sports psychologists use with athletes and their business clients. Maintain an archive of recordings of good calls or parts of calls. Listen to them on a regular basis, especially when that doubt surfaces. List your strengths on a card and post it in front of you. For example, I'm great at building rapport. I'm excellent at product knowledge. I have a great phone voice. I'm a super negotiator. Many baseball players do this with laminated cards, and they review them between innings. Use relaxation techniques. You'll often see a golfer or a football kicker take a deep breath before a shot or a field goal attempt. After a blown call, which we all have, immediately focus on a past success and or something good that you could take out of that call. Don't dwell on the negative. Former football quarterback, now broadcaster, Troy Aikman said that quarterbacks need to have poor memories because they can't let a dropped pass or a missed block affect their performance on that next play. So move on. I personally teach the use of the secondary objective on a call, which is defined as what can I at least attempt at minimum on every single call. So this ensures that you get a win of sorts on every call. Simplify things. In today's constantly connected, multitasking environment, most people are busier than ever, but accomplishing less. When you're calling, do nothing but that for blocks of time. Focus, relax, and let it flow. There are many similarities between athletes and sales professionals executing our performances confidently and consistently. It's human nature that with the inevitable undesired outcomes that we experience all the time, that our self-esteem can be rattled at times. Therefore, it's essential that we be proactive to battle those negative feelings and prevent them from becoming fatal. So use these techniques and you're going to see your attitude and your sales results at the high level you deserve. So he implemented a technique that golfer Jack Nicklaus used to fight off anxiety. I do that. I do that when I putt. Yeah, I visualize it. So he implemented a technique that golfer Jack Nicklaus used to fight off the anxiety. It's not that tough of a word. So sometimes I get anxiety when I'm putting, and then I take a deep breath. First, Smoltz's story. The pitcher who was one of the top stars in the game at the time. I used to pitch. Yep, I had 2 pitches, Byam and Adam. Yeah, pretty wild. First, Smoltz's story. Say that 10 times fast. Smoltz's story by the seashore.